Hey all, Chris from Mystery Cleaning, cleaning windows of the File Coast. Once again, another week has passed. It is Friday. Going to get ready to enjoy the weekend. We'll probably spend a good chunk of that in the sun. And yeah, so what have we been up to this week? Well, window cleaning, unsurprisingly, given that I am a window cleaner. Strange that. We've had a couple of one-off cleans. We have done a gutter clearing job. And it's interesting because I've had phone calls with a couple of subscribers, and you do forget when you when you get to about 3 or 4 years down the line, or 5 years down the line of starting your business, you do actually tend to take for granted or forget a little bit what your struggles were in the early days. Sometimes you don't, well, not so much you forget about them, you just don't forget them. You just don't think about them anymore, and it's a strange one. Case in point, I was having a conversation with a young lad from the Midlands. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember. I'm really sorry, I can't remember your name. If as soon as I do, I'll put your name in the description. I apologise profusely. But anyway, we had a conversation where it's about integrity and doing the right thing and all this sort of stuff, and that helps you build a reputation as being honest, reliable, etc. And basically, a bad reputation will get around a damn sight quicker than a good reputation. So building up a good reputation takes time, but I can promise you this: if you if you create yourself a bad reputation, it's all over social media. People are just drawn to negative vibes, etc., and they love a good a good rant, etc. So case in point, I had a customer. It was probably about 4 months ago, and I was quoted. I gave a quote to go and do window cleaning, etc., and I quoted it over Google. And yeah, all right, fine. Some people say, well, don't quote over Google and all this sort of stuff. And it was a gutter clearing job, and I had a full day where I could have quite easily just fit in a big contract that we had, put us on pause because of COVID, and I had a full day free, which was virtually unheard of. So I thought, right, well, let's smash. I've got 3 gutter clearing jobs I can get done. Let's smash them all out. And two of them were on the same street. So I thought, right, sod it, yeah, fine, we'll quote that. 80 quid, 80 quid each. Thanks very much. 2 on the same street. Bosh, happy days. Got that done on my own as well. So turned up to the first gutter clearing job, and got the old gutter vac out, and approached the front gutter, swept it out. And normally when you got the gutter vac up, you can feel a bit of resistance against whatever it is you're trying to suck out of the gutter and stuff like that. But on this one, it just went zip straight down the gut, and I was a bit like, I don't think there's anything in that gutter. So I swept the front one, and I did the same with the back one. Billy Basics semi-detached. Gutters on the front, gutters on the back, nothing on the side. Winning. Swept the front, swept the back, opened up the gutter vac, and sure enough, bits of dust, a few bits of moss and stuff like that, but nothing that's going to cause a blockage, right? And I mean, probably less than a handful between 2 gutters. So I was a bit puzzled. And normally I have the camera on the actual gutter vac, but I've knackered the screen on it, so it didn't work. So I decided, right, sod this for Game of Soldiers. I'll get the ladder out and I'll go up and have a look and just make sure that I'm not having a stroke, and just making sure that there is either stuff in that gutter that needs clearing, or if it's just empty. So I went up, and it took me 5 minutes, and it was like, right, well, that's clear. Went around the back, right, that's clear. Strange one. And I went to the customer, and literally, I'm being genuine, I was there 10 minutes, and I felt bad, to be honest with you, and I spoke to the lady, and I said, right, because bear in mind, I've quoted 80 quid, and that does include the clean the windows afterwards. So gutter clear, leave the soffit boards because they don't want them done, and then clean the windows. So I've swept the gutter out, And I said, I called the lady out because she was in, and I said to her, I'm really, sorry to nag you, love. I says, there's nothing in your gutters. Can I ask why you asked to have your gutters cleared? Have you got any, like, sort of moss appearing in your, not moss, have you got any sort of damp appearing in your house? And she's like, well, yeah, I've got damp in the corners of the front bedroom and the back bedroom. And these bedrooms are on the corner of the house facing the downspout of the gutter. So she thought the gutters were blocked. So I had a quick look at the downspouts, and they were clean as a whistle. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean. There was nothing blocking them. You could pour water down it, no problem. So left me with a bit of a quandary, really. I just said to her, I says, right, so well, I'm not going to charge you for your gutter clearing, love. I'll charge you, 30 quid for the one-off or first clean of the windows. Charged her 30 quid, and she was more than happy with that. And then I got done. She paid me. And then she says, what do you think's causing that damp then? If it's because we've had the damp proof guy coming out. The damp proof coursing is okay in the house. There's no rising damp. It's all in the top corners. And I said to her, look, I'm not going to lie to you, love. I'm no expert. I'm not. But I would suspect maybe there's moisture or some wet stuff, or there's a hole in your roof, or there's soffit board, something's growing in your soffits. Potentially. That's all I can suggest. And again, I'm no expert, and I don't do maintenance because I'm not insured to do it. I won't start taking apart bits and pieces of property and stuff like that. So she asked me the inevitable question, do you know someone that does? As it happens, I do. So my good mate Finn was in a similar position to me, had a cancellation that day, and as luck would have it, 3 hours after I went, he decided he was going to make an appearance and just give it a once over and just do a check. And sure enough, there was a football-sized amount of dirt, moss, and all sorts of caggage growing in the soffit boards. These soffits were like almost like hollowed at the bottom, and water was gathering in the bottom and feeding this stuff, and it was growing, and the water was coming through a hole in the slate in the roof. So he fixed it, no drama at all, and the lady paid Finn and squared him away. But it's funny because, to be fair, I've heard people say, well, if you just turn up and clear the gutter and just jog on, as soon as you finish, you do your bit and jog on. And this lady had no intention of regular window cleaning. When I quoted for the gutters, etc. It's just going to be a one-off job. That's it. But I still felt the need to sort of just make sure she was, to treat her fairly, to be honest with you. Because, like I say, I turned up. There was nothing came out that gutter, really, and I'd have felt, a bit of a scumbag, really, if I'd have charged the full whack for something that I haven't actually done. So I was upfront with her and just told her the script, and then I just charged her for what I did, to be honest with you, which I think is about as fair as you can. It's about as fair as you can say, to be honest with you. And it's interesting because as a result of that, she was mega impressed. Really happy about it, left a 5-star review on Google, and then wanted to come onto the window cleaning round on a regular basis. So I've got that regular custom, and yeah, it's a tenner every 4 weeks, which is 130 quid a year. Yeah, it is. But I would argue what's worth more to you is the fact that customer felt, so she felt well treated enough to turn around and say, well, actually, you know what, sign me up. I know you're an honest bloke. You know what I mean? And I'll sign you up. This is not me sort of, waving the flag for me and sort of trying to make myself, look big. It's not, but it's just interesting because, like I say, if look at it the other way, right? If I'd have turned around to her, been an utter scumbag, and said, not my dramas, not my circus, not my monkeys, and just charged her the 80 quid, jogged on, what have you. And if the customer found out about it, then my reputation would take a bit of a hit, to be honest with you. And I can tell you something now, bad news travels a damn sight quicker than good news. You might treat a customer like an absolute king, and and they'll go, oh, cheers, mate. No drama. That's fine. But if you screw someone, you know, they will want to haul you over the coals. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just food for thought. And it pays to be, you know, I hear this, some people come out with this expression, you know, nice guys come last. I don't agree with that at all, because, you know, you can, if you're a good guy and you've got a reputation for being a good guy, then, you know, it opens up far more opportunities for you than if you're just, you know, a bog standard, you know, scumbag, quite frankly. You know what I mean? So, and it's interesting because that's reinforced by what I'm hearing from customers. When I go and give a quote to a customer, I ask them, well, where did you hear about us? And a lot of times, they've heard about us from Google or Facebook, 5-star reviews, etc. You know, they matter. You know, and you're not going to get 5-star reviews or 4-star reviews or whatever if you're not A, good at your job, and B, you know, a pleasant person to deal with. You know what I mean? So, you know, you've got to be customer orientated. And so yeah, it's just interesting because I had this conversation with one of my subscribers, and again, I'm sorry for forgetting your name, etc. But it's you know, the subscriber, this person I'm talking about, they've basically turned around and pretty much told the exact same story. And it's interesting because it's, you know, it's because, you know, they've experienced the same thing as well. So it goes to show, doesn't it? So anyway, right, I'm going to call it a day, or call it a week. Bring on the weekend, peeps. All right, have a good one, guys, and I shall see you in the next video. All the very best.